How's everybody?
Good.
Good to see y'all.
Greg, do you think this program is to the point where you can avoid any kind of a letdown with a big win like you guys just had against Florida?
I think we're to the point now where we understand that if we go out there and execute to our potential, then we can have a big win like that week in and week out. I think this team is mature enough to understand that, if you look at the film, the game was a little bit closer than the score indicated. We didn't play the perfect game. We had a great first half, and we did a really good job of executing, within that first half. But other than that, we didn't have a great game. So, we just got to kind of look at the glass half empty as opposed to half full, and just try to improve from the mistakes we made.
Have you ever been part of a game though where neither one of the running backs went over 100 yards? You didn't pass over 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yet you beat somebody 31-6. What does that say just about, about all the playmakers that you have?
Right. Well, I think I've always said this, and stats can be very misleading. I mean, the amount of yardage you have, the amount of I guess offensive production you have from a statistic standpoint, they can be misleading. But we had a short field the majority of the night. We executed actually pretty well on offense. If you really look at it, we shut it down a little bit in the second half, and we just didn't come out and play, as well as we would like to have played in the second half. But as far as offensive production, it was pretty good. I think we feel pretty confident about where we were, and obviously we scored a lot of points against a quality opponent, and we beat them pretty handily. So, stats don't always tell the tale, but in this case, they definitely don't.
Greg, would Coach McElroy, would he prefer you to make a hook slide?
Probably. There was a couple times when I probably should have slid. I just have a real problem losing yardage, and I don't know. It's just a strange nature of me, because there are times when I was running and you actually saw myself slow up on film, but I just didn't slide. I think that was going through my head. It just didn't process. But I probably need to start sliding a little bit more with the length of the season being what it is, and the amount of hits. You definitely don't want to take any hits that you don't have to take. So I've gotten a lot of grief from it, from the teammates and some guys. But next week I'll probably try to hit the ground a little earlier.
Does that fire them up though when they see you? You don't mind getting physical when you run the ball?
You'd probably have to ask them that. Most of the time after a run like that, they'll come over and say something. I know a lot of people have mentioned I got up smiling a lot on Saturday after hits and stuff. I haven't watched the broadcast, but I guess they said I got up smiling, and I guess a big reason because they'd all come over and say, take a jab at me, like get down or something like that, and I couldn't help but laugh or chuckle. But I probably need to start sliding a little bit more. Long story short, it's I'm just a competitive guy, and I just don't like to go down easy. So I never slid in high school. So if I'm gonna go down, I guess I'd try to put up a fight before I go down, right?
How gratifying was that win? Because a lot of people talked about the mental aspect of that game and how it was almost like a chess match. Mm-hmm. Last year, you guys had the chip on their shoulder. This year, they have the chip on their shoulder, and you come out and that first half, you dominated.
Right. Well, I think that was encouraging for us, for the fact that we really emphasized starting fast. The week before, we came out and just kind of were in a little bit of a lull. We didn't have a great warm-up. We had a great warm-up on Saturday, which is so important to a game. We came out, we executed to a T in the first half. We did a great job of protecting the football and sustaining drives. I think for a while there we were doing a great job on third downs. I know we kind of let that slip a little bit in the second half, but we executed to, everything that we wanted to do, we did in the first half. But I think as far as playing with a chip on your shoulder, I think that like we've always said, it's not about what the opponent does, it's about what we do as a team. And we went out there and we took care of business the way we know how to take care of business in the first half. It's just finishing the game next time. Now this week it feels like it's back and forth every week. 2 weeks ago it was emphasis on the second half and finishing. This week starting fast. This week I guess we're going to try to emphasize the second half again too, but hopefully we won't get caught in the same position by coming out and having a mediocre first half.
Maybe a complete game.
That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful if we could put together a full game. I think when we eventually do, it's going to be very scary for our opponent, and I think that we have a lot of confidence in ourselves, and and our ability to score fast and shut people down on defense. So we've done a great job up to this point. It's just we just need to finish the game next time, and that should go a long way to help us becoming a more complete team.
Hey, Greg, talk about this 3-game stretch, Arkansas, Florida, South Carolina. On the schedule, we felt if you guys got through this, you can't be pretty favorable for the rest of the year.
Well, it's a tough 3-game stretch. It's a time when we looked at, in the preseason we were a little nervous about, and those are 3 very competitive teams, 2 of which being on the road. We understand how difficult that challenge is, and obviously anytime you play Florida, it's a big game and a difficult game. So, it's a tough 3-game stretch, but it's the SEC. You see a team like Tennessee who hasn't played their best up to this point, and they go out there and they go within 2 seconds of beating LSU or 1 untimed down of beating LSU. So anybody can beat anybody, and I think we witnessed that firsthand. And you got to have a lot of respect for SEC teams because each one can knock the other one off. Let's get Britton real quick. Yeah.
Can you talk about the Road Scholar experience and how much of an honor it would be to win that?
Well, yeah, it's quite an experience. I actually submitted my application last night. It's finished. It's formally done, and I'm just very, very pleased to kind of have that in the rearview mirror. It's been quite a tedious process, and it's been a lot of crossing the T's and dotting the I's. The application itself took a couple hours just to fill out, so I'm very pleased to have it behind me. It's going to be quite an experience should I be named a finalist or have the opportunity to interview, and I'm just really looking forward to having the opportunity of going through the application process and being looked at by the Rhodes Trust.